Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. We missed you. Hope you're feeling much better.
Thank you.
It's not a good show without you. Have I said it right?
Yes, you said
we need you on the show.
That's flat.
Yes, we need you on the show.
The show must go on.
As usual.
Nobody is indispensable.
But there's no morning show without Dr. Ruben Abati. I'm just kidding. How are you this morning? Perfect. Please stay around. How are you, Ayo? Good morning. Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning? But you know, it just feels like we've been sharing bad news the whole week. I mean, the spate of insecurity, banditry, kidnapping, terrorism. I mean, it's a lot. But let me start on a cherry note today by highlighting this 3-year-old girl who has got the attention of the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, by dressing like her to school. Posting photos of the girl on X, the WTO DG wrote, "Delighted to get this photo of a young 3-year-old girl who I don't even know, dressed for her school's career day as Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. What a fun thing to see. I pray for her and all young girls that their careers will be even more successful than mine." I mean, how heartwarming is that, Ayo? It's so beautiful to see. We need to see more of this. We need to see more young children, you know, go after huge personalities like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Ruben Abati, Ayo, and of course our very own Dr. Rufai. Well, all right.
Oh,
All right, yes.
That's the representation that she sees Dr. Okonjo-Iweala as an institution.
Absolutely.
Usually you dress as a doctor, a lawyer, not a person.
Not a person.
But she dressed as a person. That is an institution.
You said it right. Well, all right.
And it's good that schools do this career days.
I love it.
You know, every school, they try to do it to inspire the children.
I love it.
For them to pick one personality that inspires them.
Yes.
And, you know, I mean, you can't overlook someone like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. And I hope that the young lady, like many others who have tried her iconic head, will also study her career path, study her accomplishments, and then aspire as they grow older to be exactly like her and even possibly be bigger than
Dr. Ngozi Okonjo. Remember when, you know, they made her WTO DG, there was that Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala challenge. I loved it. It was beautiful to see. Well, all right. Let's take another story. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, on Wednesday said that there is no going back on the relocation of the headquarters of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria from Abuja to Lagos, following criticism arising from the announcement of the move to relocate FAAN and departments of the CBN. The minister made the comments during a live television interview, among many other topics, including issues surrounding the national carrier, which the minister says is still in the pipeline. Keyamo, however, noted that no local airline will be designated Nigeria's national carrier.
I have said this before, and I'll say it again. It was not a deal that was good for Nigeria in the long run. The whole composition and the totality of that deal was merely Ethiopian Air flying Nigerian flag. It was not a national carrier. There are two things. A flag carrier is different from a national carrier. So while we were being told that a national carrier was coming, it was not a national carrier. It was a foreign airline trying to fly Nigerian flag. Let me say this publicly now. No local airline will be a carrier, national carrier, a flag carrier. So whoever thinks I'm working to promote one to be a flag carrier, I'm saying it as a matter of policy. It will be unfair to all the local operators. No local airline will be designated as a flag carrier. I will not do it. We will establish a proper national carrier. And people are talking to us. The Arabs are talking to us. The Chinese are talking to us. The Americans are talking to us on this already. There were better deals on the table. Why did we settle for this? Or why we're trying to settle for this? We have better deals on the table.
Dr. Abati, I mean, it's surprising to hear Festus Keyamo making all these statements, given that, you know, we have for many months now not even paid our foreign airlines all the money that has been owed for years. IATA has said that no country has a national carrier. I think it's just about Ethiopia Airlines that has a national carrier, and they are highly dependent on the Nigerian economy. And we'll see here that, Festus Keyamo wants to go forward with this idea, which a lot of people have condemned. And he talked about flag carrier. I'd like for you to just help us enlighten, maybe the minister, because I believe that we do have a flag carrier, Dr. Reuben Abati.
The point he's making about flag carrier, national carrier, every local airline is a flag carrier. If they go, on any trip. If Air Peace goes to, is it Dubai or where do they go to? It's a flag carrier because the point of origin of that flight is from Nigeria. If what other airline is there that takes people to Saudi during pilgrimage, it's a flag carrier. Okay, I thought I didn't say no local airline can be a flag carrier.
That's what he said. They
are all flag carriers once they, originate from Nigeria. But as for national carrier, what he's talking about there is about, the Nigerian government owning its own airline, like Nigeria Airways. Mm-hmm. And this has been controversial. There are persons who have said Nigeria Airways was run aground.
Yes. Because
government has no good reputation in managing businesses. So we came with this idea of Nigeria Air, but he says, Nigeria Air, we didn't get a good deal. He was actually not saying Nigeria should not have a national carrier. He was saying that there were better deals. In other words, the deal that was done by the same administration that he served before he joined this Tinubu administration, that the deal, he will go back to it and get a better deal. So, I don't know, because this is a thing that happens, routinely in government. When you are the minister, you leave the place, or you are the governor, you leave the place. The new man, the first thing he wants to do is also to change things, move things around, so that there will be opportunities for, what.
You mean opportunities for change?
No, please, I don't want to use the word on television. So this is what happens. Everybody wants to be in charge. And when he too lives there, the next man that comes will also say, the deal, that better deal was not a good deal. There is the best deal in the world. Mm-hmm. We should learn a lesson from the experience of the South African Airways. South African Airways, one of the reasons it was run aground was because they were using the place for purposes of corruption.
Yeah.
Government was involved. The government of South Africa owned over 50% of that national carrier until they ran it aground. And South Africa Airways could not fly around again. It's only now that they are saying, South Africa Airways can now go on long distance flights. So you have the example of the South African Airways, where government was not efficient. You have that of old Nigeria Airways, where government ran the place aground. Okay, you can cite the example of Ethiopia Airlines that is doing well, or Emirates. But Keyamo says he doesn't want to hear about Ethiopian Airlines.
Yeah.
The Ethiopian Airlines just wants to use Nigeria.
China, he said the US is talking to us.
He says China is talking to us. America is talking to us. Yeah. Everybody is talking to us. He doesn't want Ethiopia. Maybe he wants China. This is what this is all about too. But finally, I think that beyond your deal is not good, I will bring a better deal. What we should worry about is the management, the opportunities available to these local airlines that need to be encouraged.
That is it.
There is BASA. I want to hear the Minister of Aviation talking about BASA, Bilateral Air Services Agreement, and creating opportunities for these same Nigerian airlines, local airlines, that they say don't have capacity. The CBN is saying, foreign airlines that could not repatriate their funds, first they provided over $60 million. Now they say they have provided more money to them. All of that is a drop in the ocean. Who is supporting the local airlines for them to be thriving businesses, other than this flight of fancy ideas about, we have better deals there are things to worry about, including the elevator in the airport in Abuja, including the carousel in the airport in Lagos, and the smelly toilets in all the airports across Nigeria. Well, can we start with those low-hanging fruits before we begin all this looking for better deals from China to America?
Dr. Batu, you have said it all. I love the fact that you highlighted BASA, because that's the complaint. A lot of airlines do say that, you know, even if we have these foreign airlines, what are they going to come and do? They're all just going to come and access, you know, all our BASA agreements. And the point remains that they should provide an enabling environment for these airlines to thrive. Let me take a comment before we move on to another topic. This person wrote, any foreign airline willing to sincerely invest in the country, considering the expansive Nigerian market, should put in our national treasury nothing less than $4 billion in cash. Well, that's a message for the minister. We'll take another story. President Tinubu's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, has said that Nigeria remains amongst the safest places to live globally in the midst of escalating abductions and violence by non-state actors in Nigeria. Ononuga, in a tweet on Wednesday, among many other claims, said based on available figures, Nigeria is safer than South Africa and the United States. He emphasized that the country does not rank among the top 10 nations with the highest abduction rates globally, and urged citizens to recognize the government's efforts in combating insecurity since 2009. Ayo, I believe that we have done this a couple of times on our show. We have talked about how great our security forces, how good they have been doing. But talking about the fact that we should tamper down on reporting figures of insecurity in Nigeria just baffles me. But he also put out, let me just read some part of his tweet, which he actually highlighted the figures of South Africa. Bayo Ononuga wrote, South Africa faces a worsening insecurity than Nigeria. In 2023, 15,343 people were kidnapped, with Gauteng province, where the city of Johannesburg, the commercial capital, is located, recording 7,818 cases of kidnapping for ransom. 10 years ago, in 2013, there were only 3,822 cases of kidnapping. They jumped to 11,000 in 2021 and have been on the upward curve since then. Well, he went further to write, media reporting about cases of kidnapping, communal killings, and isolated terrorism acts must show some moderation by not giving the impression that all Nigerians no longer sleep with two eyes closed or are not safe in going about their day-to-day businesses. Ayo, your thoughts on this story quickly before I talk about this Nigerian soldier.
Yeah, I think it's sad that now our comparison is with the worst.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, we're bad, but we're not that bad. That actually shows how bad things are. He's right in saying that we're not in the top 10 list, we're not in the top 20 actually. The United Kingdom at last counts is probably higher on that list. But if you compare other things in terms of what's working, the state of the economy, the difference between previous administrations and what we have now, you would see that unfortunately there's been a downward spiral when it comes to the security situation in Nigeria and the number of kidnappings and deaths that we've seen in recent times. Rather than comparing ourselves with countries that are worse off, can we compare ourselves even just with our own and just look at the antecedents and see how far we've either progressed or regressed as a nation? In defending this administration, which is part of his remit in terms of a special advisor on media, it's important for him to stick to the fact and maybe promote more what the government is doing to support the efforts of tackling insecurity and not in trying to defend them. Compare Nigeria with, it's like saying, at least we're better than Iraq, we're better than Afghanistan. No, I think it's actually speaking to the fact that we are worse off than we were before.
Absolutely. Well, in the meantime, a Nigerian soldier has voiced out his frustration over the inability to reunite with his family due to the high cost of transportation, which he says exceeds his monthly salary. In a viral video, the soldier revealed that he earns 50,000 naira monthly, while the cost of transporting himself back to his family is 70,000 naira.
Nigeria may give me pass as I do 1 year for Meduguri today. Now they give me pass, make I go and see my family. My way to as I come up for bush now I reach park. They tell me say from here to my town 35,000. Now I come calculate 35,000 going and come back, that is 70,000. And 50,000 now my salary what they pay me for this month. But me I not get option again. No. I go back to bush.
He says he's going back to the bush. Well, in the meantime, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, has accused some Nigerian churches and mosques of laundering money for terrorist organizations. The EFCC chairman made the allegation on Wednesday after disclosing that 7 billion naira, suspected to be proceeds of fraud, has been traced to a religious organization in Nigeria. Olukoyede revealed that the commission was investigating a fraud case of 13 billion naira when it traced the 7 billion naira to the religious body. He also disclosed that the religious organization quickly obtained a restraining order stopping the EFCC from inviting its leaders to be questioned. I mean, Olukoyede has remained resilient. He's saying, you know, he's going to go ahead even though the court order is there. But I mean, this is quite alarming. Religious centers being fingered in these terrorist acts. Laundering money for terrorists? Yeah. Rufai.
Okay, so a couple of things. I'll start from Mr. Ononuga. What he just played is called the statistics game of false equivalence. And a lot of people play that game a lot. So I'm not surprised, but I see through the game. This is it. Nigeria will not rank as high on the kidnapping list because most of the kidnappings that happened are underreported. And they happen in rural areas. You can't compare with areas like Gauteng province in South Africa, where there's a massive level of reportage and all of that. Mm-hmm. So when you report along those lines, it doesn't mean that the thing is not there, it's not happening, but there are massive cases of under-reportage. And it also goes back to how the data is collated. So most of the data is collected through newspaper reportings and all of that at the top newspaper, but you don't get a lot of those reportage. Somebody should also ask him, does that also make account for the banditry? Is there banditry in South Africa? Is there massive killing? Were 100 farmers killed in Zabamari in South Africa? And the other killings? Are there highways in South Africa that people cannot travel? I mean, there's a general case of economic malaise. And you saying that, oh, it's not as tough as it is in South Africa. We get the game you're playing, but it's not reflective. And the truth has to be said. It is best for him to tackle the issues on ground and don't tell the media how to report. Let the media do the job. Because when he started, he said, oh, I've been in the media business 2 years. He's been in the media business, he's a veteran and all of that. Oh, we sensationalize things and all of that. But the truth is there substance to what was reported in the first place? So we see through that game. Nobody should play for us. Nigeria is a cesspit for kidnapping. Prior to this time, kidnapping was not as rampant as this. All of a sudden, it topped. In fact, it was something that we hardly heard in Nigeria. All this killing was not as rampant as this. I mean, you can go and check through reportage from year 1999 to 2000. Most of the violence you hear reported in the north are maybe inter-ethnic violence and all of that. We did not hear about Boko Haram. Yeah. But since then, we've had banditry and all of that. So we understand the game. People shouldn't play it for us. That's number one on this comment. Secondly, as regards, this insecurity, I think Dr. Abati said it earlier on. If these people are serious, the EFCC is serious, they should go ahead and prosecute those churches. Why, or mosque? Why are they coming to tell us that they are helping to get money? So is it by announcing it to public, court of public, we will now action it? So, but that's part of the thing we do. We just generalize headlines. It's fast becoming a government of headlines. We sensationalize headlines. They are the ones that are saying, oh, headlines are too sensational, but they are the ones that sensationalize headlines. Sensationalize headlines and we don't get any result in the end. So what the EFCC chief should do is go with every legal process possible to be able to prosecute those churches, pure and simple.
Yeah, but I appreciate information like this, though. It shows, yeah, do you not?
Oji, I'm sorry, there's some information that are needless. Yeah. Just like when he said some of his investigators are collecting money, corrupt money. Yeah. I'm like, what should we do with that? Fix them. Thirdly, the case of the military officer, and I think it goes to show the lack of welfare we complain about in our military. And I feel, please, something should be done for that man. Some people have led the campaign.
Absolutely.
In fact, they've put his account number out there.
Yes.
Because, I mean, after a man has served 1 year in the bush, he needs to be able to see his family. And 70,000 I can afford. Please, embarrass that military officer with a lot of love.
I love that.
Donate to that account. That account has already been put out, a Fidelity Bank account, and I will try as much as possible to share myself, because we need to be able to support our military officers so that we do not make them feel like they're alone in all of this.
They're doing very well. We'll take another story.
That soldier is probably in the guard room as we speak. Because there is a rule of procedure in the uniform services that you are not supposed to go and make your case on social media. So he has also violated, in a sense, no matter how legitimate his concerns may be about his plight, there is a rule that you don't take your matter to social media as a uniformed officer.
Very valid.
We've talked about that a lot of times. We'll take another story. A former senator representing Adamawa North, Elisha Abo, has accused the president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Dongban-Menson, of corruption. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja on Wednesday, Abo described the judge as a cash and carry judge who visited politicians and also sent her children and her agents to collect bribe from petitioners and respondents. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
The President of the Court of Appeal, let it be on record that it is during your time as the President of the Court of Appeal that the Court of Appeal descended into the abyss of caricature. There has never been time in the history of the Court of Appeal that the Court of Appeal became a cash and carry point, a POS point, like as in your own time. And I want the President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Damsa, to know that I screened you as a Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in June 2020. Today in your court, the moment matter go into the Court of Appeal today, it becomes something else. Children of judges, flawed either petitioners or respondents, agents of judges, flawed politicians, asking you to go and steal the judges. This is not the renewed hope of Mr. President. The judgment, which I have it here, that Justice Chioma Ngozi read in the court is different from the certified true copy given to us. She didn't know that I sent my staff with my phone and we recorded her judgment, of which if you want I can play it for you here. From the beginning to the end, we recorded her judgment.
Very strong allegations, Dr. Bati.
I think this your Senator Elisha Abo is completely delusional. Because what he has just done here is, defamatory per se.
Yeah.
Defamation, either in the face of the court or away from the face of the court. What he has done is to defame the entire Court of Appeal, including the President and also Justice Iheme Nwosu. And he says, I passed you, I screened you, I didn't ask you for bribe. As if he had personal authority.
To ask for bribe.
To ask that anybody that is brought before the National Assembly should be screened and passed. That's where the delusion comes from. Number two, he's asking President Tinubu to go and investigate Justice Iheme Nwosu and therefore not allow her to become a Supreme Court Justice. No, he's the one who has raised these allegations. He's the one to prove the allegations.
Absolutely.
You who alleges must prove.
Must prove.
But the other side of it, of course, is that he's saying because a judgment of the Court of Appeal went against him and his brother, and he just goes on and throws the entire Court of Appeal under the bus. Unfortunately, they say he who comes with equity must come with clean hands. I think it's unfortunate we have reached a level where any kind of person can denigrate, impugn the integrity of the Nigerian judiciary.
Right, we're waiting for his proof. We'll end what's trending today with these pictures shared by the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, embracing the grandchild of former First Lady, Dr. Aisha Buhari. Remi Tinubu shared the photos in a post on X, stating that she was accompanied by the wife of the Vice President, Hajia Nana Shatima, as they welcomed Aisha Buhari back home after her stay with her daughter to nurse her new grandchild. What would I say? Baby news is always such a cherry news. I thought it was a nice news. Congratulations to the Buhari family. Lovely to see that. Well, I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.